let's talk about some awesome new crochet patterns. Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, so today we're going to talk about my favorite new and free crochet patterns that I found during the month of September and October. So I'm getting this video out a little bit later than I wanted to, but hey, we're just going to combine September and October together. There's lots of fun projects out there to find. All right, so all of these patterns are going to be free. They are going to be new within the last 2 months of release, and they are going to be size inclusive garments. We're going to talk about some accessories and some stuff for your house. Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, as I mentioned, all of these projects or patterns will be free. So either they will be free as a download or they will be available on the designer's blog for free. Let's start with garments. Up first, we have the shortbread duster, and it is designed by Brianna K Designs, and it calls for worsted weight yarn. The bust circumference ranges between 30 inches to 62 inches, and in centimeters that is 76 to 157.5 centimeters. In terms of ease, it has 4 inches or 10 centimeters of positive ease, so that's really good. And the hook size that it calls for is a 5.5 millimeter or an I hook. Of course, in terms of hook sizes that I talk about today, that's going to be determined by your gauge, your individual tension, and all of that good stuff. But I'm just going to share what the pattern calls for. And so let's talk about some of the skills and techniques that you will need to make this project. I have researched this for all of the projects for today. So I wanted you all to know what kind of skills and techniques you'll need before you decide to make these. Okay, so you will need the front loop single crochet. You'll need to know how to do the moss stitch, which is basically just made from like chain stitches and single crochet. And of course, all of these techniques, like there's tons of tutorials on YouTube you can find if you don't know, if you don't know how to do the moss stitch or you don't know how to do a front post double crochet. Trust me, there's plenty of tutorials. I use tutorials all the time. Alrighty then, so the pattern does come with a video tutorial, which is amazing, and this duster is worked from the bottom up, and then you split it into panel sections, and that's going to create those armholes. Alright, let's move on. Number 2 is the Eleanor sweater, and it is the Eleanor sweater scarf. You're kind of getting like 2 in 1 with this one, but it is designed by Hannah Cross of Han Jan, and this calls for a DK weight yarn. And in terms of your bust circumference, it ranges between 30 to 62 inches, which of course is 76 to 157.5 centimeters. And so in terms of hook size, you will need a 4.7 millimeter. And in terms of your skills, you'll need to know how to do the single crochet and the half double. So just 2 skills that you'll need to know how to do. So basically, this pattern is a scarf with sleeves. I mean, that's like, to me, that's what it looks like, a scarf with sleeves, which I think is ingenious. And of course, you can wear it like, you can dress it up, put maybe like a skirt, dress with it, a nice pair of dress pants, or you can wear it down with some jeans. Like, there's lots of things you can do to make this project look great. Okay, let's move on to number 3. We have the Izza Mesh Cardigan, and it is designed by Tony Lipsy of TL Yarn Crafts. So the yarn that's called for in this pattern is worsted weight, and the bust circumference ranges between 28 to 62 inches. Now in centimeters, that is 71 to 157.5. In terms of positive ease, it calls for between 4 and 12 inches, or 10 to 30.5 centimeters of positive ease. So lots of room in there. So definitely think about your sizing, and how you want it to fit you when making this project. And so for the hook sizes, you're going to need 2 different hooks. You're going to need a 5.5 millimeter, which is an I hook, and you will need a 6 millimeter, which is a J hook. So the hook sizes are, a nice size. They're kind of more like on the bigger size. And the skills that you will need to know how to do is the foundation stitch, crocheting in the round, double crochet, crocheting short rows. Have any of y'all ever created or have let me re-ask that. Have any of y'all ever crocheted short rows? Even it's hard for me to say because I don't think about short rows and crochet. I think about short rows and knitting. So I'm like, crochet short rows? That sounds so different, but I want to try it. I don't know how you would do it. But yeah, if you've ever crocheted short rows, let me know. I would love to know. And what was your experience crocheting short rows? All right, so also you will need to know how to do an applied ribbing technique. And you'll need to know how to add a button band and steam block. So that is what she recommends. She recommends steam blocking for this cardigan. And it's just a wonderful V-neck crochet lace cardigan, and it's made sideways. Have you all ever crocheted anything made sideways? That's so crazy, but I think it's really cool. And basically it has a ribbed finishing and a button closure. So lots of fun techniques with this one. All right, y'all, let's move on to our next one. This is the Mauve or Mauve cardigan. I'm probably saying that wrong. But it is designed by Rachel Milsner of Evelyn and Peter Crochet. And the yarn weight is an Aran weight yarn. And in terms of bust circumference, it is between 28 to 62 inches, which is 71 to 157.5 centimeters. So when it came to this pattern, I couldn't find what the ease was, but it did say that it is meant to have a relaxed, loose fit. So, of course, what that means is this pattern has positive ease built into it. So I think it's going to be really good. So relaxed, loose fit. You don't have to worry about it being too tight because you don't know the ease, before the pattern. So yeah, definitely take a look at this pattern. I think it is beautiful. It calls for a I hook, which of course is a 5.5 millimeter. So let's talk about the techniques and skills that you'll need. So you will need to know how to do the chain stitch, single crochet, back loop only, half double crochet, treble crochet, double crochet, slip stitch, and the foundation half double crochet. Y'all, this crochet pattern has every skill in the book in it, okay? You will learn something with this pattern for sure. I believe I've done all of these, so I'm grateful, but I do have to look at the treble crochet because I want to make sure the designer doesn't mean triple crochet, or is she going by UK terms? So I really need to look into that. But I really like the pockets. I think they're so cool. Anything with pockets is just awesome. And also the pattern, y'all, the pattern comes with a full video tutorial. Okay, so look, there should be no concern with knowing how to make this or doing all of those techniques because it has a video tutorial. Okay, let's move on to our next garment. It is the Hexie Party, and it is designed by the Barocco design team. So this is a cardigan, of course, and it calls for bulky weight yarn. And so the bust circumference ranges between 35.5 to 67.5 inches. And that's 90 to 171.5 centimeters. So that is quite the size range. So let's talk about the ease. The ease for this pattern is between 2 to 4 inches or 5 to 10 centimeters of positive ease. The hook size is a J, which is a 6 millimeter crochet hook. And so of course you can tell that this has a very open sort of gauge, especially, you know, with like that granny stitch kind of design. But the skills that you will need to know are the chain stitch, double crochet, slip stitch, and she calls it the sliding loop, but it's just the magic ring. Like, have you all ever heard the magic ring referred to as the sliding loop? This was new to me, and I've been crocheting like forever. So yes, and I know the magic ring can trick people up sometimes, but if you just go on YouTube, there's a ton of wonderful magic ring tutorials. And y'all, the magic ring is not difficult. Like, well, it depends on every person, but I feel like if you find a good tutorial, you got this. You got this. I believe in you. And what I love about the Hexie Party, or the Hexie Party, is those wonderful 3/4 sleeves. I love a good 3/4 sleeve. Okay, speaking of sleeves, you can see I've got a lot of sleeve going on here, and don't you worry, I am going to talk about what I'm wearing. Just give me a minute. Up next, we have the Alia or Alia cable crochet sweater, and it is designed by Jennifer Renaud of A Crocheted Simplicity. And so it calls for a worsted weight yarn, and in terms of the bust circumference, it ranges between 28 to 62 inches, and in centimeters, that is 71 to 157.5. And so you will need 2 crochet hooks for this project. You'll need a 5mm, which is an H hook, and you'll also need a 6mm, which is a J hook. So you'll need an H and a J. In terms of the skills or techniques you'll need to know to make this pattern, let's see, we've got chain stitch, slip stitch, yarning over, single crochet, half double crochet 2 together, front post double crochet, and front post treble crochet. So kind of a mixed bag in there, but you got this. It's just take your time, read through the pattern first, look up any tutorials that you need, and I feel like y'all could definitely make this. All right, so let's move on to another garment, and it is the Blanche sweater. This sweater is designed by, Ashleigh. Yeah, Ashleigh Shoemaker. All the patterns that I talk about today will be linked in the description box below, so you all can just click the link, go straight to it, you know, if you want to do that. But she is of Heart Hook Home. So the yarn weight is worsted, and the bust circumference ranges between 30 inches to 62 inches, and that is 76 to 157.5 centimeters. And you will need a K hook, which is a 6.5mm crochet hook. And the skills you will need include double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, chain stitch, single crochet, double crochet 2 together, and that'll be your increase for this pattern. And I really like that V-neck design. As you all can see, I am a fan of V-neck. I think it really suits my body shape. All right, y'all, so let's talk about what I'm wearing. I love wearing this. I am wearing the lovely quartz pullover, and it is designed by Alexandra Tavel. Now, y'all, I have uploaded an entire video about this pullover. Also, I have a Ravelry page about it, and I will link my Ravelry page below. But if you haven't watched the video where I talked about the quartz pullover, here's a preview. This is some of the softest yarn. And of course, I have not weaved in my ends, because I was thinking I might add a pom-pom to this. I don't know, we'll see. I think I say that about every hat that I make. This is just an episode full of finished projects, because y'all, I have been crocheting. Everybody loves Beyonce. We all know Beyonce is fabulous. But here's an unpopular opinion. I actually was always more of a Kelly Rowland fan. Let's move on to accessories. Up first, we have the Quick and Easy Cowl. It is designed by Dream Crochet. The yarn weight calls for a super bulky. And the size of this cowl, the dimensions are 10 by 5, 10.5 by 14 inches. And in centimeters, that is 27 by 33. And the hook size is a 10 millimeter, which is a US N or P. Just kind of depends on what type of hooks you have. And in terms of skills, you will need to know how to do the foundation chain, single crochet, double crochet, the chain stitch, and the invisible fasten off. I use the invisible fasten off on all of my projects. It's a wonderful way to fasten off or finish off a row where it looks like the stitch continues, but really it's ended. It's fantastic. Look it up. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful way to finish off your stitches. It just makes it look really clean. And a lot of times you can't even tell where you ended the row at because it just blends in with the rest of those crochet stitches. And so I really like how dense the fabric is for this cowl, because a lot of times if it's really cold, that wind is just ripping through. And so it's nice to have a cowl with a really dense fabric to keep you warm and toasty. And yeah, it's definitely going to keep you warm, and I think it is a wonderful looking cowl. Okay, so let's go to the next one. It is the Hazel Ruana wrap that is designed by Sarah Ruan of Ned and Mimi. And so it calls for worsted weight yarn. And the wrap is basically, the measurements are based on width, but the sizes are written for extra small all the way up to 5X. So keep that in mind. You're going to basically measure width. And I believe you measure, like when I've done projects that the measurements are based on width, a lot of times it's your shoulder measurement. And so you're going to need 2 hook sizes for this project. You will need a 5.5 millimeter, which is an I hook, and you will need a 6 millimeter, which is a J hook. So if you want to make this pattern, you'll need to know how to crochet in the back loop only, chain stitch, single crochet 2 together, half double crochet 2 together, slip stitch, yarn over, and yarn over slip stitch. Have any of y'all ever done a yarn over slip stitch? I've been crocheting forever and I have not heard of a yarn over slip stitch. New to me. But that's fun. I love it. It's so fun to learn new techniques. I think it just makes you just an even better crafter, whether you're knitting, you're crocheting, you're weaving, whatever. Continuing to learn new skills and techniques it just makes the craft more interesting, in my opinion. So this wrap is pretty much like a cross between a scarf and a poncho, which is really cool. And the pattern does come with a full video tutorial. Love it. Of course, these are written patterns as well, but it's nice to kind of have that tutorial in case, perhaps you're someone that does not know how to read a pattern. And so you may benefit from a full tutorial where you can crochet along with the designer. So it's really nice to have that option. Okay, up next we have the English Rose Shawl, and it is designed by Janet Pippin. And so the yarn weight is a DK. And also this wrap is based on measurements based on width, but it is available in sizes extra small to 5X. And the hook size that you would need is an H, which is a 5 millimeter. And the skills you will need to know is the chain stitch, slip stitch, single crochet, double crochet, and there's also a few special stitches in there where she gives you instructions on how to do those. And then there's some decreases, and I really like the tapered ends of that shawl. You all may know that I'm a huge fan of especially like tiny scarves, and whether it's knitted or a crochet scarf, I love those tapered ends, those tapered pointy ends on a scarf. So when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, I have to share this with you all. Up next, we have the Winter Cables headband, And this is designed by Carmen Rezic of Loops Only. So this is a DK weight, and the size is totally customizable. You can use different weights of yarn if you want to. And also you'll need 2 hooks. You'll need a 4mm G hook and a 3mm crochet hook. And so the skills you'll need to know are back post double crochet, chain stitch, double crochet, front post double crochet, front post treble crochet, pulling up. That's a new instruction that I haven't heard. Single crochet, slip stitch, and yarn overs. Y'all, I have never made a crochet cable before. I am so excited to try this. It's a beautiful stitch. And so, have you ever crocheted a cable? Let me know. I would love to know, like, what project did you make? That would be really fun to share with everyone. Okay, so up next, we have the Prato shopping bag. And I'm going to put the designer's name on the screen because I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to butcher that name. But it calls for an Aran weight yarn. And it comes in one size. And the hook sizes are it's going to be your 3.5mm, which is an E hook, and a 4mm, which is a G hook. And so in terms of skills, you'll need to know how to do the magic ring, chain stitch, single crochet, double crochet, slip stitch. You'll have to do a few increases and decreases, such as double crochet 2 together and double crochet 3 together. And also, you'll get to do the cluster stitch. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, I was looking at this bag, and I feel like for me, I would probably substitute the handles for like a faux leather handle. I think that would look really, really good. Especially like with it being such a long handle, you know, and if I'm going to be shopping with it, it's probably going to get heavy. I don't want it to stretch out. And so I was thinking either like a faux leather handle or a braided handle. I think that would look really nice as well. So yeah. Okay, so up next we have the Tarragon hat, and it is designed by Michelle Ferguson of Two Brothers Blankets. So the yarn weight is worsted weight, and the sizes range from the head circumference of 16 to 23 inches. And in centimeters, that is 41 to 58.5. And so basically, this pattern was designed to be able to fit toddler to adult. So everyone in the family can get a hat. That is so fun. The hook size is an I hook or a 5.5mm. And you will need to know how to do a few skills. You'll need to know how to do the chain stitch, slip stitch, single crochet 2 together, back loop only, front post double crochet, front post double crochet 2 together. Now that's a new one for me. And the front post double crochet 3 together. Wow. I need to look up how to do that stitch because that sounds pretty epic. Okay, so this pattern uses the bar stitch, which is new to me. Have y'all ever heard of a bar stitch in crochet? Never heard of it. I just feel like a novice. There's all these skills that I have never heard of. This hat does have a matching scarf pattern that came out back in March of 2023. And so I think that's really neat. That would make a really, really cute matching set. Okay, y'all, next up. Okay, I'm super excited about this one because it is the simple shoulder bag designed by Viv Crochets. I may have already started on this one. That's why I'm so excited about it. So the yarn weight calls for Aran weight. So that's the yarn. And the size, I do believe this is unblocked, is 9.4 by 12.2 inches. And that is 24 by 31 centimeters. And that is including the strap. Now, the pattern does have some notes on if you don't want to include the strap, like how the bag will fit and the size of it. But it calls for a 5mm crochet hook, which is an H hook. I used the recommended H hook, yes, and it was super, super big. And so I went back and I looked at some of the notes from the designer, and she had mentioned how she wished that she had gone down to a 4mm just to kind of like decrease some of the spacing in the bag. So her sample, I do believe, is done with the 5mm H, but she was saying that, you know, she would even go down to a lower hook. And so I went with a G hook, which is a 4mm, and it's working out really well. So the skills that's needed for this bag, let's see, you'll need a chain stitch, a double crochet 2 together, double crochet 3 together. I can't wait to do that. And a slip stitch. And so, yeah, it's basically crocheted in one piece. And then you can adjust the length of this bag by adding more space. So to add more space. So if you want to make it longer, you can definitely just keep going. But I am loving this. And another thing too is this comes with a full YouTube tutorial. And I typically don't watch YouTube crochet tutorials. If there's a written pattern, I prefer the written pattern. But there was like this one area that I kept getting confused on. And it is like the bottom point here. I couldn't get like the instructions. And so I went and I looked at the YouTube tutorial, and it was like crystal clear after that. So I'm really happy about that. And this yarn I am using is Caron Simply Soft Party. And yeah, it's in a sparkle turquoise color. So once I finish this, I'll do a video all about it. I just got started with it yesterday, and I mean, I feel like I'm halfway there. So feeling good about that. Let's talk about some patterns for the home. Okay, so our first one is the heart pillow, and it is designed by Charlotte Perusian of My Rainbow. And so the yarn weight is super bulky, and the pillow size is 11 by 13 inches or 28 by 32 centimeters. And it calls for a USH, which is a 5mm hook. And the skills you'll need are single crochet. You'll need some increasing, some decreasing knowledge, chain stitch, slip stitch, and following repeats. And this pillow, I think, would just look so fun in like a chenille or velvet yarn. I don't think I've ever used either types of yarn, but yeah, I've gone to some stores and I've seen some of the chenille velvet type of yarn that people use a lot of times for amigurumi, but I think it would just look so cute with this heart pillow. And so I'm excited to see what kind of yarn I can find. So up next we have the Haven blanket, and this is designed by Nikki Jones of Jules and Jones. And so this calls for bulky weight yarn. The size is 52 by 60 inches, which is 132 by 157.4 centimeters. And so you will need a K hook or 6.5mm. And this crochet blanket pattern, it only uses 2 stitches, and that's a single crochet and a double crochet. So if you know how to do those, you already know how to do this blanket. You got it. It's not a problem. And so this crochet blanket pattern has a guided video tutorial. Amazing. And it also has step-by-step photos included in the pattern as well. And that's a lot for a free pattern. I think that's wonderful. Okay, up next we have the Basket Seasons, which is designed by Durable Yarn. So it calls for bulky weight or super bulky weight yarn. And the size is 10.2 inches high and 13 inches wide, and that's in diameter. And so in centimeters, that's 26 by 33 centimeters. So just think about the size you want your basket. You can always make it bigger, make it smaller. But what I found so interesting about this pattern calls for an 8mm L hook. Have y'all ever heard of an L hook? Like, do I even have an L hook? I'm not even sure, but that's awesome. I need to go look through my bag and see if I have an L hook. But anyway, to make this, you'll need to know how to do the magic ring, chain, slip stitch, double crochet, and back loop only. And it's a really nice looking color block basket. I'm trying to think, I don't know if I've ever done color blocking before, so that would be fun. I'm curious to see how that technique is accomplished. And the bottom of the basket is crocheted in a spiral. And so I'm thinking you start with that and then you build up. That's what I'm thinking. But yay, this was fun. So what new crochet patterns have you found? I did a video for August and all of the patterns that I found there. So go check that out. I think I'm going to create like a little playlist for these types of videos. That would be fun. And I could leave that playlist for you all at the end of the video. So yeah, I got to make a note to do that. But let me know if you have made any of these projects or if you're thinking about making these. Like I said, these projects, these patterns came out, let's see, these are September, October. So no more than 3 months ago, 2 months ago, something like that. So yeah, let me know if you have plans to make any of these. I would really love to know what you would do with it. And also, I wanted to remind you of the year of the make-along, a year of the sweater make-along that I am co-hosting with Trish of Tie-Dye Diva. There's still time. It's November right now. It ends in December. So you have till December 31st to get those entries in. And basically you can crochet or knit or sew or whatever you feel is a sweater. So we have an Instagram hashtag Year of the Sweater MAL, and we also have a Ravelry thread, and I'll link that below. All right, y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know what you worked on, or did you just chill? And also leave me a comment because I love reading you all's comments. And also check out my YouTube community tab. I'm always asking fun questions there, and I love reading you all's responses. And also, if you would like a bonus video each month, click that join button, check it out. Each level has different perks, so just go ahead and take a look at that. And also, I wanted to thank you all so much for the patterns that I have been receiving as gifts through my Ravelry Wishlist. I just received one, I think 2 days ago, and I was just like, oh, so happy. So thank you all so much for that, and I'll leave that link below as well. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!